2 years ago, the lower school section at ISL decided to go all the way back to the basics of why we would want young children to engage in learning in a digital environment. Together with my very supportive curriculum coordinator, we set up an online space for everyone to think about this very thing, and then spent a whole afternoon looking at some examples that were already happening. We introduced the afternoon with this short film.
We have the afternoon on November 12th to figure out why we're using technology to enhance learning at ISL. The whole idea is to come up with some essential agreements about why we buy all of this stuff in the first place. Why do we want our young students connected to the internet and learning in a digital environment? Given that integrating technology isn't always easy, why do we think it's worth it? And how do we know we're doing the right things and moving forward? Rather than just going with what we hope we know, Tanya has pulled together some of the latest articles from the big thinkers in the field of IT integration. This is probably the best place to start. Most of the articles and videos are short. Please take the time to read them before Wednesday so that when you're in your groups discussing some of the things people are doing all around the lower school, we all have the same understanding. Finally, make sure you visit the feedback tab with your team and give us your input. This is your first chance to impact what our essential agreements about technology are going to look like at ISL. Enjoy the afternoon, and hopefully we'll all end up talking about teaching, not technology.
After watching the Sammer movie and reading a bunch of articles that specifically related to good outcomes when using technology, the teachers at our school had a chance to go and see what certain grade levels were up to. We didn't let teachers present all alone, and we tried to stay far away from the tools or the software that they were using, rather focusing on the rich and engaging learning opportunities they were creating using the digital tools we had available at ISL. Basically, the whole exercise turned out to be a deep thinking and learning opportunity for the lower school staff. The teachers that were presenting could take a good look at what they were doing and think about why they were doing it. And the teachers that were watching the presentations could look at these through the lens of deeper understandings and student engagement, rather than how the technology worked. The next step was for grade levels to start thinking about some essential agreements about how they would like to use technology with their particular age level. This took place over the next few months, and we chose Trello because we could set up the boards and have them be only accessible to the grade levels until they were finished, and then everybody could vote for the ones that they thought suited the whole school. The grade level agreements are in place because they were designed by the grade levels and they get to keep them. But because of the upvoting, we ended up with 7 essential agreements that apply to everyone no matter what. These agreements became the basis for learning opportunities that were created and decisions that were made regarding the types of technology we would want to purchase for our students here at school. Everyone decided that we didn't want to go with a single platform, and so we decided to buy laptops, iPads, and have a couple desktops in the classroom as well. Which brings us to this year. We are purposefully and deliberately creating a culture where thinking is valued, visible, and actively promoted. I see varying degrees of evidence of this everywhere in the building. My fellow educational technology coaches and I have been working to promote this same culture online. Having all these devices connected to each other makes them such a powerful tool for learning, because the development of thinking and understanding is fundamentally a social endeavor. The tech coaches and curriculum coordinators for the upper and lower school sections at ISL kept this in mind when we created the following 6 criteria for the use of IT. These are essentially in place to build upon the lower school essential agreements and bring this culture to our entire community. So far, we've had a couple of opportunities to introduce the criteria to our teaching staff. The first one was a staff meeting where we introduced all 6 criteria. Teachers were assigned to vertical groups and took a close look at one criteria through the lens of what they currently teach. They recorded what they shared and thought in a tri-sider document that we put up for everyone to take a look at. This afternoon session gave everyone some time to talk about concrete examples and exactly what the words mean in practice. After a few weeks, I took the time to talk to some of the more influential people around the building, activators of thinking and learning, curriculum coordinators, my coattail crew, and some parents. I got the same response from almost everyone. What they're looking for are concrete examples of what it means to engage in a digital environment for rich learning experience.
So Joel, what were the learning intentions in asking your students to document their school in this way?
At the start of the year, all students tell their story, and every student in K2 and in my class have told their story. We connected with a class in Cambodia via Twitter through a friend of mine from Kotel, and one of the children in my class made a connection that we should tell our story, a collective story about our class and about our school. And one of the ideas that came out of it was a video.
How did this learning connect to prior and/or current curriculum outcomes?
The current curriculum at the moment, we're looking at well-being. That's our unit of learning, and to do with well-being is really how people work together and how people are connected to each other. It really ties in as a tuning exercise as well for our second unit of learning, which is all about diversity. We've made a video about our school, what's important to us, and we will then see other schools share videos about them to see the diversity and the similarities and differences.
What unexpected learning outcomes did you discover, if any?
I suppose the biggest unexpected learning outcome was how the children took ownership of the whole task from start to finish. From the beginning, it was their idea, a little bit of guiding along the way, but the children really thought about what they wanted to record, how to record it. They recorded it and they put it together. What you see is pretty much their work, 95% of the thing. So not only did they think about it, plan it, but they also collaborated and they worked together, which for a bunch of 17, 18, 5-year-olds working together for the first time within 3 or 4 weeks of school, I think is very, very impressive.
How did using technology make this learning better or easier?
The biggest reason I think is that it was easy for them to do. The tools which they used was very user-friendly for 5-year-olds. They could do it pretty much independently. I think without the tools and without technology being in place, and I think it could have hindered their interest in the project because they were able to finish it within a 3-day period from start to finish. Technology allowed us to do that.
What are the next learning steps for these students?
Well, in the video you can hear that their language skills need to be refined somewhat. So we need to think about how they're starting a sentence. Majority of the sentence is "this is," so we can think about putting some more things in place from there. We can think about adding some more adjectives and some describing words, some more description into their language. So that's some literacy elements which can need to be continued. And for me as well, it's now connecting with others and sharing with others and learning from others and asking questions from others and seeing similarities and differences ahead of our next unit of learning for diversity.
Right. I want to ask you about the video that you made about ISL. Why did you guys make that video?
Because we can show it to the other schools in Cambodia, Italy, England, and Spain.
Why do you want to show it to the other schools?
Because so they know what we're doing in our schools.
Send
Yeah,
it
and they're asking questions to us, and this was one of their questions, so that's why.
Do you think their school's just the same as our school?
No.
Why? What makes you think it's going to be different?
Because not all schools will be the same.
Did the teacher take the films or the pictures or do the talking?
No.
Who did it?
We did. Yeah.
Was it hard?
No.
Thank you. Was it fun?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome to International School Luxembourg. This is the map of Luxembourg. Luxembourg City is where our school is. This is a school building. This is where the upper school is. Bonjour, we speak French and English at ISL. This is our principal, Mrs. Angoe. This is Mrs. Featherstone, our Ali's principal. This is our organizer for our school, and she calls her mummies and daddy when we don't feel good. This is the playground where we play, and we love it so much. This is the front of the school. This is a little entrance. This is the main entrance of our school. This is our beautiful classroom. This is a makerspace where we all make stuff, and we make things that to catch a star. This is Underlost. This is a PE room where we do exercise. This is a big gym. This is where we go into PE. This is our music class, and our teacher's name is Mrs. Miss. This is our French department. This is our French class where we learn French, and our teacher is Madame Hoyer. That is a cafeteria for the big one. That is the lunch for the small one. This is our toilet. They are nurses. Thanks for watching.
So there's one example of how we plan to continue giving teachers inspiration for connecting to the world's learning resources for the purposes of developing a line of inquiry, being connected to best in the world examples, knowing how to engage with other people online to learn and foster deeper understandings.